My first question, Charlie, was how many professional theaters are there in Auckland?
That's a good question. There's a brand new, there's us, who is the basement. We are seen as the development hub, or I guess if you think of it like an ecology, at the bottom of the ecology. So if you're straight out of drama school or you're straight out of training, you just want to put something on, you would come to us. We operate on a risk share model where we don't charge a venue hire at all. We actually just take a split of box office profits, so the risk is shared. Next door to us is a brand new professional theatre called Q Theatre, which I actually helped. I'm on the executive of NTI. We helped raise the $24 million to build it. And that is a theatre which is a 350-seat flexi-form space, so it can move around, with a 100-seat studio upstairs. It's also got a beautiful cafe and bar. It's a brand new building. It's won architecture awards. And I guess that is set up for companies, professional companies, which exist in the Auckland ecology to put on work. They pay a venue hire, whether it's a documentary festival, comedy festival, Auckland Theatre Company, or a New Zealand dance company. Then next to that is a group of venues called The Edge, and they are our biggest professional organisation. They run and manage the Civic, which is one of our oldest beautiful buildings, the Civic Theatre, the Illusionists, which is all the world's magicians. That's on there at the moment.
I see adverts for that all over, and I'm always like, what is that? Now I know.
That's it. Apparently there's a guy who plays Russian roulette with an actual gun and bullets. Freaks me out. I'm going on Friday. And they also have multiple other spaces. They've got a large room downstairs called the Lower NZI, where kind of site-specific or immersive works have gone on before, as well as conferences and stuff. Then there's the Herald Theatre, which the Silo Theatre Company, you should check them out, silotheatre.co.nz. They are our second sort of professional theatre company that don't have a theatre. So we're talking about venues, they hire these venues around the city. They work out of the Herald. It's a 180-seat venue. And then there's the Aotea Centre, and that is 2,500. It services, the ballet, the opera, any big travelling shows like the Bridge Project that they bring over with King Lear and Ian McKellen, which was done out of between the RSC and New York. So that'll go there. Then there's the Maidment Theatre, which is actually situated up at the university and managed by the university. That actually just had a fire 2 months ago. So the professional theatre company in Auckland Theatre Company had to find all these other venues at last moment to put their work on. So they've gone out to a community theatre called Selwyn with Glass Menagerie, which opened this weekend gone. So that exists. That's about 350 seats, and they've got a studio as well, about 100 seats. Again, venue hire model. You pay to hire the venue. And then out in the regions around Auckland, there are various other professionally run venues. Tapak is one of them, which is in Western Springs, which is like a community venue but run professionally.
I was trying to see a show there this weekend, but it's sold out on Thursday, which is when I was aiming to go. Patua?
Right. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that one, actually. Patua. Yeah, they do a lot of Indigenous work.
Yeah, that's
Auckland is one of the most multicultural places in the South Pacific and Australasia. So we have the biggest Pacific. So from Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, we have the biggest Pacific population in the world here. Lots of Indian, African communities, and I think Tapak, they really look to service that market as well, which is really cool. And then there's Sky City Theatre, which is run by the Sky City. They don't use it as a theatre as much this year. And at the moment, there's been a lot in the industry going, a lot of kind of awesome fundraising and happening for Auckland Theatre Company to have their own home down at the waterfront. So the waterfront of Auckland is since the World Cup, and actually it sparked off since the America's Cup 10 years ago. There's been a lot of investment going on down there, but there's not a lot of art scene. I mean, there's a couple of smaller venues that have popped up off and on, little art exhibition places and stuff. But yeah, in terms of a proper professional venue just for the Auckland Theatre Company, it's really needed. So yeah, that will be the sixth, I guess, in our landscape.
Oh wow! Yeah. It sounds like a really live, vibrant community.
I started being a producer because I saw a lack in the landscape here of these amazing, talented actors, my friends, my colleagues, myself, doing one show a year and getting rave reviews and being awesome, but that's it, because there's literally nothing else for them. So I became a producer in order to give myself and them work. But as I went through, I went, hang on a minute, what is best for the art? It's not best for the art that I'm producing and in it. That is my ego speaking. And I really feel that the job of the actor is just to be a vessel for the playwright. Anything else, I'm not good enough. Anything else, I'm better than you, is your ego, and that's not what is best for the art, you know. And I mean that like genuinely, and I like to see things from that meta level, because I like to work with people who understand that, I guess, and I'm trying to teach that, that it isn't about us, it's about, we want, ultimately it's about the audience, because they are the lifeblood, they are our creative energy to allow me to pay my mortgage and to put on my new show and, be an awesome human.
Right.
We need that.
Right,
so
yeah.
if we're thinking about ourselves all the time and not about our audience, then, so we have a responsibility to our audience to make the best art as possible. And so, a playwright, let's develop the play, let's give them the tools that they need, get the actors on board that understand the work and can take that to the next level, and producers, I guess, like myself, or theatre makers or creative entrepreneurs, as I call myself now, because I do a lot of other stuff as well, and it's just being part of what is best for the art, for the audience, and for the artists themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that's something that is generated and is held of high value to see a Kiwi play on stage rather than seeing Tennessee Williams or, any big American playwright?
Absolutely, and good question, and I'll give you some context around it. So we actually, at the Basement, this year are doing 157 different shows.
Oh my gosh.
Now, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To think a normal theatre
That's
company
amazing.
might do 6 to 8. Now, yes, our seasons are smaller and we're doubling up and we've had festivals within that, but 80% of those is New Zealand work.
Wow.
And we are contracted to that. We program with that in mind. Our programming philosophy is all about New Zealand work. And that's us at Basement. 50% of that work will be a premiere. So that's the way that we program. It's an amazing multicultural society here. There is some issues within the Indigenous people, the Māori people, and what is their art. There's so much amazing art that's come through in all these stories, but I still see that art form and that culture expressing itself through art form as in its infancy stage. A lot of the stories that they write, funnily enough, in film especially, are about boys growing up. Boy, whale rider. There's this kind of it sort of emulates in a weird way. We haven't sort of gone, okay, well, where's the contemporary drama? Where's the contemporary story? And that's what I'm interested in. In fact.
Thank you for
You're
taking this
welcome.
time today. So hope you guys take the time, watch this video. Even though you're in the States or anywhere else you might be checking in from, what's going on in our theater world around us is so important to whatever we're doing in our own space. So check it out, get inspired, and I'll catch you guys next time.